Greetings and blessings. How you all doing? Let me check, see if I'm live on this thing here. Doing. Yeah, blessings. I am live. I have not messed around my system for the past maybe 3-4 months or so. So I intend, I'm just trying it out. You know, so I'm testing it out again, see if it works well. But today I have a few videos that I wanted to play. You know, we have been seeing a lot of people, you know, saying Trump is this, President Trump is this, and President Trump is that. And I came across some videos. I mean, I posted them earlier on my page, but as I said, I'm just trying out my system, see if it still works. So here we have one with President Clinton, because he was before Obama. Yeah, so I'm gonna play this one and we just watch them. Yes, indeed.
The people demand and deserve an active government on their side, but they don't want a government that wastes money, a government that costs more and does less. They voted for change. They wanted a literal revolution in the way government operates, and now you and I must deliver. Yesterday, I announced the reorganization of the White House staff that will reduce our staff by 25% and cut costs by $10 million per year. Today, I have called you, the members of the cabinet, together to take the next step, to begin the overhaul of government as a whole. The steps we're taking today will save the American taxpayers $9 billion. They won't be easy, but they will make a difference. We have an obligation and an opportunity to change the way government works and to show that government can do more with less. Our government needs change. For the last dozen years, I've heard our leaders call loudly for less government while giving people more government, and perhaps more importantly, while giving almost no attention to better or different government, to new ways in which partnerships could be made with people in the private sector and in the state and local governments. First, I am ordering a reduction of the federal bureaucracy by at least 100,000 positions over the next 4 years. At least 10% of these cuts must come from senior management. The cuts can come from attrition. I see no need for layoffs. These cuts will make our government more efficient and more effective. The government is full of dedicated people whose hard work is being choked off by our own bureaucracy. Second, I'm ordering each federal department and agency to reduce its administrative as opposed to its program cost by 12% over the next 4 years. With better planning and innovation, we can make better use of the money we already have. In many agencies, overhead is too high, red tape is too thick, and the day-to-day operations of the agencies have not been re-examined in a very long time. I believe government can both care about people and be careful with their money. Third, I am today ordering the elimination of hundreds of unproductive and duplicative advisory commissions that have spread across this government like kudzu. I'm asking the Office of Management and Budget to eliminate at least 1/3 of the 700 advisory boards and commissions that were not created by Congress. From now on, agencies and departments will not be allowed to create new commissions without permissions from OMB. We simply cannot allow the federal bureaucracy to beget more bureaucracy. Change must begin at the top. That's why I cut the White House staff by 25% and ordered federal agencies to cut billions of dollars in administrative costs and to trim 100,000 federal positions by attrition. And in my budget, there'll be more than 150 specific cuts in government spending programs. The government is the problem here. It causes inflation. It causes middle-class people to have trouble. What we need is a very restricted role for government. We have run a horrendous government deficit. The deficit is now 4 times as big as it was in 1980. We have seen spending go up in areas that the government would have to move to control, mostly healthcare, and then interest on the debt, because when the deficit gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you spend more money on the debt. So we have reduced investment, increased the debt, moved money upward so that there's been much more inequality of income distribution. It means that we must reduce the government's debt. Why? Why? Because if the debt gets bigger and bigger and bigger, two bad things happen. Bad thing number one is the Congress spends more of your tax money every year paying interest on the debt than investing in your future. It's now up to 15 cents on the dollar. If we do not change present spending patterns, when you hear people oppose the program I outlined, ask them what the cost of the status quo is.
Did you hear that word? Let me see if I can go back a little and hear what the question and those two words. Yeah, and I will come back to it later. Just those two words.
When you hear people oppose the program I outlined, ask them what the cost of the status quo is. If we behave for 4 years.
What's the cost of the status quo? I will come back to it later, you know.
If we behave for 4 more years like we have for the last 12, here's what will happen. By the end of the decade, the deficit will be $650 billion a year. And we'll be spending about 22 cents of every one of your tax dollars just paying interest on the debt. We'll be spending by then, because of the growth of healthcare costs, about 65 cents of your tax dollars on entitlements. And being in Congress will be a matter of how you spend 5 or 6 cents on every dollar. The rest of it will just be rubber stamped. You can just have a computer instead of Congress. I know what you're thinking. Please don't say that. It's squeezing the life out of the money you're giving up in taxes. Second reason, even more important, is the more money the government borrows every year, the less money there is for people to borrow in the private sector, and the higher the cost of the money is. Just since the election, since we made it clear that there was
one of the commitments that I made the American people was that we would do a better job here in Washington in rooting out wasteful spending. We don't need to wait for Congress in order to do something about wasteful spending that's out there. Cutting waste, making government more efficient is something that leaders in both parties have worked on. We haven't seen as much action out of Congress as we'd like, and that's why we launched on our own initiative the campaign to cut waste. One of the commitments that I made the American people was that we would do a better job.
I'm gonna play this one over. I think it should be about 3 presidents talking here. So let's listen to them.
Here in Washington in rooting out wasteful spending.
We'll prove that we can spend the money we have in an appropriate way and stop wasting so much of it.
But over the next several months, we will be looking at every other agency and program, asking the direct question, do we really need this agency?
Wow, they wanted to be Donald Trump, but they weren't able to pull it off.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Now, why couldn't they do it? Why weren't they able to pull it off? Yeah. I have a friend, and I was talking to the friend, and I asked him, is Trump a politician? And he was like, yes. So I said to him, was Trump a politician before he ran for president the first time? And he was like, no. And I said, there you have it, you know? And he basically runs off a phone, you know, he don't want to engage me in that argument. There are a lot of stuff that he and I will talk about. But when it comes down to President Trump, he don't want to hold no arguments with me. And Earlier on in the video, we hear Obama talk about both governments, which basically is the Republican and the Democrats, and he talked about both governments, and why hasn't they changed it? I am saying it. I am of the opinion that because these two parties are these politicians, I should say, before Trump becomes one, they have to work with a particular system. Yeah. And that is why the words that President Bill Clinton used, status quo, right? They couldn't change it. And I am strongly of the opinion that Trump is not in anyone's pocket. Yeah, we're going to have people may say, yes, Elon Musk, yeah, spend a lot of money to get him elected. But I am of the opinion that Elon Musk mean this country well. Yeah. Therefore, he do what he have to do to save the country. Yeah. And I guarantee you that things can only get better. Yeah. I may have some friends. I am not saying all of them are living off Section 8, but some of them is very rude, disrespectful, and out of order. And I am strongly of the opinion that some of these people are living off Section 8 why they hate Trump so bad, and he is going to cut that out in a couple of years from now. You people will have to go and work for your money. And then only then and there, or there and then, whichever way you want to put it, you guys will feel what we, who is working hard, is feeling when they take our taxes out. Yeah? When they take our taxes out to take care of you people who are able-bodied. You are not handicaps. You are strong and hearty. But you guys feel that I should only work 20 hours for the week. Because what? I will lose my benefits. I will lose this. I will lose that. So you don't want to work. Yeah? So now when I come with all these arguments, what is going to happen? Illegal immigrants gone. So they won't do this work. But yet, you that is living on welfare, you not doing anything, I should say just working 20 hours a week. We now have to get up and go out to work. Yeah? That is what is going to happen. That is what most of you, or most of you, is afraid of. Yeah? Because when you don't want to work. So when you want the most way, because a lot of when you inherit, when we come and we talk, oh, Trump not like black people. Trump a racist. Trump never used to rent out his place to black people. But I don't know how much of you travel the US. But I do. And I have seen a lot of properties that mark Trump Towers and stuff like that. And all of them is in very, very good condition. Yeah? Not one of them, or one of those properties is run down. Yeah? But let me see if I can play another video. I'm going to play Elon Musk and what he says. for a minute. I have a couple of videos I can play. So I will take my time and go through them.
It's not optional for us to reduce the federal expenses. It's essential. People voted for major government reform. There should be no doubt about that. That was on the campaign. The president spoke about that at every rally. The people voted for major government reform, and that's what people are going to get. They're going to get what they voted for. If the people cannot vote on how their will be decided by their elected representatives, then we don't live in a democracy. We live in a bureaucracy.
Yes, indeed. I see people, and I see a lot of people will be saying, oh, people that voted for Trump is regretting it. Yeah? Not one of us. Yeah? Not one of us that voted for Trump is regretting it. Because everything that he says on the campaign trail, we listen to him. And we voted for it. Yeah? Everything that he says, we listen. You guys don't listen to him because you guys trying to spread all kind of propaganda. And you didn't carry a message more than Trump is racist. That's all. That was the message. You know, Trump is racist and don't like black people. That's the situation. But I guarantee you that within the next 2 years, things will only get better. And we're not lazy people who live in, yeah, and Section 8. As a matter of fact, not everybody on Section 8 is bad. But you have some who feel that they are entitled, you know? As I'm not even gonna go into the Medicare thing, you know? Let us listen to a few more videos, you know? I watch a few more videos. Watch and listen.
People that this is a very important point. If we don't solve the deficit, there won't be money for medical care. There won't be money for Social Security. We either solve the deficit or all we'll be doing is paying debt. It's got to be solved, or there's no medical care, there's no Social Security, there's no nothing. It's got to be solved. It's not optional. America will go bankrupt if this is not done. That's why I'm here.
That's why Elon Musk is there. Yeah? There you are. You can see me there sitting on an eagle. So I see some, I'm not gonna call him no names. I won't call him no names, you know, but that is me there and an eagle. Yeah. So we have people doing all kind of disrespect, trying all kind of disrespect and saying all kind of things. But it's what it is, you know. I should play this one here. Let me play this one where all this fraud thing is going on. I don't remember playing any of the president. So let me run one with the president. Yes, indeed.
$20 million for fiscal federalism in Nepal. Listen to these numbers. This is all fraud. $19 million for biodiversity conservation in Nepal. $1.5 million for voter confidence. We want to give them confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $2.5 million for inclusive democracies in South Africa. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well. They're doing a lot better than we do in the schools, aren't they? $2 million to develop sustainable recycling models to increase socioeconomic cohesion among marginalized communities in Kosovo and Eskali and in Egypt. we're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars. By the way, I could read this all day long. I could go on all day long, and you'll see hundreds of billions of dollars, and we're doing it. But when I saw the Social Security numbers, I said, wow, that's really something. So we have, let's just go above 100 years old. We have millions and millions of people over 100 years old. Everybody knows that's not so. We have a very corrupt country, and it's a sad thing to say, but we're figuring it out. Now,
Yes, indeed. We figured it out. Very corrupt country, and this is what you guys wanted. You know, I can only say that some of you are feeding from the trough. Yeah? You guys are feeding from the trough. You don't work. You know, or you have, no, just put it this way. You're feeding from the trough. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter with wasteful spending or anything like that. Yeah? But let me go back to the boss again, President Trump. And listen to him 10-point plan. I mean, I'm just playing some videos, and these are things that he will say, or he did say during the election campaign.
here's my plan to dismantle the deep state and reclaim our democracy from Washington corruption once and for all. And corruption it is. First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively. Second, we will clean out all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus, and there are plenty of them. The departments and agencies that have been weaponized will be completely overhauled so that faceless bureaucrats will never again be able to target and persecute conservatives, Christians, or the left's political enemies, which they're doing now at a level that nobody can believe even possible. Third, we will totally reform FISA courts, which are so corrupt that the judges seemingly do not care when they are lied to in warrant applications. So many judges have seen so many applications that they know were wrong, or at least they must have known. They do nothing about it. They're lied to. Fourth, to expose the hoaxes and abuses of power that have been tearing our country apart, we will establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to declassify and publish all documents on deep state spying, censorship, and corruption. And there are plenty of them. Fifth, we will launch a major crackdown on government leakers who collude with the fake news to deliberately weave false narratives and to subvert our government and our democracy. When possible, we will press criminal charges. Sixth, we will make every inspector general's office independent and physically separated from the departments they oversee, so they do not become the protectors of the deep state. Seventh, I will ask Congress to establish an independent auditing system to continually monitor our intelligence agencies to ensure they are not spying on our citizens or running disinformation campaigns against the American people, or that they are not spying on someone's campaign like they spied on my campaign. Eighth, we will continue the effort launched by the Trump administration to move parts of the sprawling federal bureaucracy to new locations outside the Washington swamp. Just as I moved the Bureau of Land Management to Colorado, as many as 100,000 government positions could be moved out, and I mean immediately, of Washington to places filled with patriots who love America, and they really do love America. Ninth, I will work to ban federal bureaucrats from taking jobs at the companies they deal with and that they regulate. So they deal with these companies and they regulate these companies, and then they want to take jobs from these companies. Doesn't work that way. Such a public display cannot go on, and it's taking place all the time, like with Big Pharma. Finally, I will push a constitutional amendment to impose term limits on members of Congress. This is how I will shatter the deep state and restore government that is controlled by the people and for the people. Thank you very much.
That's the real boss. Yes, indeed. This is a man that tell you exactly what he's gonna do. Him not go round and come round. Him tell you straight up. So what the issue I have with him? Yeah? This is a no-nonsense man, and this is why I like him. Right? Every single thing that he say he's going to do, him do it. Whether I get it done now or later. But he is going to do it. And listen to this one.
America will be a manufacturing nation once again, and we have something that no other manufacturing nation will ever have, the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we are going to use it. We'll use it. We will bring prices down, fill our strategic reserves up again, right to the top, and export American energy all over the world. We will be a rich nation again, and it is that liquid gold under our feet that will help to do it.
Yes, indeed. That liquid gold. You know, as for me, who now driving a bus, but was a truck driver. You know, I'm not even gonna say truck driver anymore. I mean a professional driver. Because that's what we are. You know? I don't know what the future holds. Yeah. But in that case, those liquid gold, they will need trucks to move it. I wonder if one of my lazy friends will drive a truck. One of those living on Section 8 will get off Section 8 and drive a truck. There's liquid gold to transport. Yeah? Yes, indeed. Let me see if I can find some more. This is, I have one person tagging me. I don't even respond to that person, but they were talking about taking funding for black schools or whatever be. And I think part of it is what Trump is trying to cut out, saying there's no black schools, there's no white schools, there is no this a school or that a school. Everybody should be one. Yeah? But let me see if we can find this one and play it.
How soon do you want the Department of Education to be closed?
Oh, I'd like it to be closed immediately. Look, the Department of Education's a big con job. We're ranked, so they rank the top 40 countries in the world. We're ranked number 40th, but we're ranked number 1 in one department, cost per pupil. So we spend more per pupil than any other country in the world, but we're ranked number 40. We've been between 38 and 40. The last time I looked, it was 38, and then I looked 2 days ago, it came out the new list. It came out at number 40, so we're ranked 40. Norway, Denmark, Sweden, I hate to say it, China, as big as it is, it's ranked in the top 5. And that's a primary competitor. We're ranked number 40. So if we're ranked number 40, that means something's really wrong, right? And I say send it back to Iowa, to Idaho, to Colorado, send it back to places that, and there's a lot of Indiana. You have a great new governor, you have a great senator that Jim Banks just got elected. You got great people. I'll tell you what, Indiana is going to be fantastic. We probably have 35, maybe 37 states that will do as well as Denmark, Norway, Finland, Sweden. They'll be just as good. Then you have the ones that we all know about. It will be the same story, but you know what? Even they will be good.
Yes, indeed. So I'm gonna play one more, then maybe 2. But this one is the DEI spending that they is mad about. Everybody is mad about it. I mean, the other party, you know, most of their, I mean, quite a few of their senators, you know, it's really mad. So let's hear this thing here.
Because you can't really defend this kind of stuff. 45 million for diversity and inclusion scholarships in Burma. 3 million for girl-centered climate action in Brazil. 125 million to racialize public health. 288,000 for diverse birdwatcher groups. USAID, which is in the center of the storm right now, and rightfully so, spent 1.5 billion to, quote, advance diversity, equity, inclusion in Serbia's workplaces and business communities. 70,000 for the production of a DEI musical in Ireland. 2.5 billion for electric vehicles for Vietnam. 47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia. Not Columbia, Missouri, or Columbia, South Carolina. The country of Colombia. 32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. 2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala. 6 million to fund tourism in Egypt. This is what they're mad about.
Well, that's what they're mad about. So let's get a little vibes, you know, a little vibes. And this is what we want, the optimism. Yes, indeed.
One of the most American values that I love is optimism. And this feeling like we're gonna make the future good. We're gonna make it good. We're gonna have safe cities, finally, safe cities, secure borders, sensible spending, basic stuff. I'm gonna work my ass off for you guys.
That's the America we need.
Man, I can't wait. This is gonna be fantastic. Yeah. And I love you guys.
We have the energy. Let's make this happen.
Yes, it is what victory feels like. Yeah.
Elon called me. He said, you know, they're trying to drive us apart. I said, absolutely. No, they said, we have breaking news. Donald Trump has ceded control of the presidency to Elon Musk. President Musk will be attending a cabinet meeting tonight at 8 o'clock. And I say, it's just so obvious. They're so bad at it. I used to think they were good at it. They're actually bad at it, because if they were good at it, I'd never be president. Because I think nobody in history has ever gotten more bad publicity than me. I could do the greatest things. I get 98% bad publicity. I could do, outside of you and a few of your very good friends.
Right.
It's like the craziest thing. But you know what I have learned, Elon? The people are smart. They get it.
Yeah, they do.
They
actually.
get it. They really see what's happening.
Yes.
That's the situation. And they're trying to turn it around. You know, but I have a lot of friends. I mean, most of my friends, I respect them. You know, a lot of them support the Democratic Party. And I mean, I respect them a whole lot. But there's a few. And what I'm going to say doesn't go for those people or those friends that I have. They know themselves, and the ones that I'm going to throw this for, you know, because they, oh boy, the Democrats, they have a sign, you know, or an animal that they use. You know, while the Republican may use an elephant, the Democrats knows theirs. And as I said, it does go for my real friends, you know, but I'm not even gonna call it, you know, but you know what that sign is, you know, and the good people, them, good Democrats, them know what it's saying for them. But for those who feel like they may or they want to disrespect people, you know, that's exactly what you are. Not the donkey, but the other word for them, what they call them, that's what most of you disrespectful people are. And that's the situation. All right. A lot of people is like, oh, we don't want must doing this and must doing that. Let's hear this gentleman for a minute.
Elon Musk does have a security clearance. He has a top secret security clearance for, by God, he makes the rockets for NASA. But the suggestion that he somehow can't be trusted to dig into how we're spending our money is nothing but a smokescreen to hide the corruption and the wasteful spending that has occurred there. And I am personally offended at the left's continued references to 19-year-olds and 21-year-olds in there doing work. There are 19-year-olds who have won the Medal of Honor defending this country. Just because you're 19 doesn't mean you're some child who can't be trusted. It is offensive. And if you're 19 years old out there, 20 years old, and you're serving this country, by God, your service matters. Keep serving. We thank you for that.
And this will be my final one. And I'm just gonna play this little one and then end it. And I do hope that when Dodge is sending out this money, those people who feel I'm cooning, you know, will just return that check. Yeah? When that check is sent to them. Yes, indeed. Because it's going to happen. Yeah, it will happen.
There's even under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the Doge savings to American citizens and 20% goes to paying down debt, because the numbers are incredible, Elon. So many billions of dollars, billions, hundreds of billions, and we're thinking about giving 20% back to the American citizens and 20% down to pay back debt and pay down debt.
There you have it. 20% back to the American citizens, you know? And I see people asking 20%, why 20%? Why not more, you know? And I'm not gonna say it must be one of those people, but you know what me I go say. I'm not gonna say it, but you know, have an idea what I will say. Because I know that everybody who voted for Trump will get for that 20%. I do understand that it's a minimum of about $5,000. But yet people saying, why 20%? Like it's not enough. You know, because some of you guys just sit down, don't work. You know, and as I talk about they're not working, I wanna just say something, you know, because when I think about some of these people who don't want to work, and when the COVID come out and them getting these checks, you see what I mean? You know, or this government give them these checks and them feel to stay them yard and they want to go back or go work. I look at it and I say that if these people are working, say $20 an hour, right? And a lot of people in the US do not work $20 an hour, right? But I'm just saying $20 an hour. Just try to round it up, make it easier for me. And $20 an hour, not 8 to 16, that's 160, and times that by 5, 6 is 30, 5 1 5. That's like $800 a week they would make. You know, they would gross a minimum of $800 a week at $20 an hour. And after taxes, they may have about $600, you know, 620, whatever it is, you know. After taxes, depends on what they take out. They will have that money. Now, if the government are giving you $500 a week, and when you were working and you maybe have to go out into the cold and stand and grab the train or the buses or all of those, and you're just sitting down and get $500 a week. You know, you don't want to go to work because the $100 extra that you would have worked or that you would have earned when you were working, you'd probably use it in gas and, you know, lunch and all that stuff. So you sit home and you collect the $500 and you feel that you must just stay right there. Don't work. Can't work. Enough to work. Gonna need to go work. And then more taxes will be drawn. Though the president is saying maybe no income tax. That would be so awesome. Yeah? Right? But before he says that, I am for those people who is on welfare, Section 8, and are able-bodied to go out and work. Right? But that's it. I think I've been here long enough. And you guys have a blessed day until I come back with another video. By the way, I will come back soon and very soon with a very controversial one. And that one is about me. Yeah? That one will be about me. Yeah, and what I have experienced. So that's what I will share with you later. Bye, guys, and you guys take care. Blessings.